Okay, folks, we're going to get started. If you can take your seat if you're joining us. Just gave you a moment to catch your breath, of course. And it's also, I'm going to share the good news here. And it's today is Mussa's birthday, actually. And Anat can tell you more about that. I just stole the good one. But please, I want to, first of all, before we bring out our panel, I want to mention that we're starting a new program here at Other Israel, where from 8 till 11 p.m. at the Ale House next door, in that direction. We're having drinks with the directors where you could continue conversations in the back room and meet the directors of this film and other films. So please join us. Also, Elliot Grazenberg from an advocate for refugees will be there tonight. So that will definitely enhance the conversation. It's informal. Just come as you please. I'm going to start here with our moderator, Tsafi Saar, who, as I mentioned, is a journalist at Haaretz daily newspaper, writing a weekly column about feminism and gender in the Galeria Shishi, as it's called, the cultural weekend edition. Please welcome Tsafi. Chaim Peri has served as a visionary educator and advocate for vulnerable youth in Israel for more than 3 decades. Today he serves as Director-Emeritus of Yemin Orde Youth Village, a multicultural global community of 440 at-risk and immigrant youth. Thank you so much, Chaim, for being here. And of course, Yemin Orde is a fabulous partner of the festival. And finally, the director of the film, who is an anchorwoman, journalist, director, and producer of the film, Anat Goren. Anat, please join us. Tsafi, it's in your hands.
Good evening. Thank you for coming, and I'm sure you enjoyed from Anat's movie, and it was very moving to me. And how old is Mussa today?
Today, he's 14.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, when he was in Israel, he had like 10, 15 friends on Facebook. He used to sit all day and chat. And then now he has, so whenever he puts a picture in Facebook, he has like 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes. So he really likes it. So if go back home and wish him happy birthday, he will love it.
Well, likes is everything today, so. I wanted to ask you, Mussa is a different film than you made the political films. Your last, I think it's your last film about Bougie Herzog. Made a lot of, it was given a lot of attention in Israel. And what made you make the film about Mussa? How did it happen?
First of all, I think I'm going to keep doing political movies.
Please do.
Yeah, you know, it's too heartbreaking, these stories, and politicians, I hate them all. I can do whatever I want. But Bougie was also a heartbreaking movie in a way, right? Anyhow, I met Mussa when one of Mussa's classmates' mother approached me. She told me that a few years ago her daughter came back home. She said there is a new black kid in her class, and she's afraid that she'll be seated near him. The mother was devastated, of course. She didn't know what to do with it at all. And she told me this kid is not speaking for 3.5 years, and nobody knows why. So I went and met his mother and asked her permission to start filming him. I wasn't sure he would like it, but he did. That's how it started.
And during the shootings, which took how long? How long were you with Mussa?
2 years, then
Yeah.
we went to 2.5 years.
Were there times you considered to interfere in his life more deeply, like maybe you could change the story? Was it tempting? Did you have a conflict between you and Nat as a person and a director?
Yeah, it's a conflict that I dealt with him for the first time in my professional life. To what extent you can interfere as a director, do you tell this kid's story, or you tell other kids' story that nobody's following them, nobody knows if their life is good or bad, if they have lunch in their home when they're coming back from school, if their mother is waiting for them or not, or you just say the hell with the movie. I need to help this kid. So of course I got some kind of middle way. Mussa was like big brother to my kids. He slept over with us a lot, but I couldn't. How do you say, replace his mother. And in the end, when they were asked to leave, they got deported. Of course, I did interfere, and I did talk with the Ministry of Interior and asked them to help. They did give some kind of solution, not the best solution, but a solution. They told us that as long as the father is still here and not deported, she is safe. But they don't know for how long he's safe here. Like maybe he will get his deportation in 2 weeks, maybe 2 months, maybe 2 years. She doesn't know how to. What's the answer? Then the mother just told me that she's not going to accept this solution. She was devastated already. She was depressed. She was afraid, and she really didn't know if it is good for Mussa to stay in Israel. And I didn't know either. So she's the mother. She made the decision, and all I can do is help from Israel, sending money. And that's what I'm doing.
And you made a story about a refugee kid, but it's not only about I think it's not only about the refugee crisis. I think it reflects a lot of other problems in Israeli society. Like we have the teacher, which understands what it is to be an immigrant, and other things like bringing a boy from a poor neighborhood to learn in a good school with rich kids. I mean, what were your intentions? Did you know that this will be the story? I mean,
The teacher?
did you know that the refugee story is reflecting so much about the Israeli society?
To tell you the truth, I live maybe 5 minutes drive from Mussa's neighborhood. The only thing I knew is that it's a bad neighborhood, that I shouldn't go there alone in the dark. I met this kid, I fell in love with him immediately, and I thought that it will be a good thing to show the situation through his eyes, because we always see in the news very specific, very certain angle of the story. People do not have too much empathy to what they see. Israel, unfortunately, is a racist country. And this story did get to the Israeli people. After this movie, I had a lot of reactions of this movie changed our opinion like 180 degrees. And I think it did good. It's one small story of a beautiful boy, but I think says more than that.
Yeah. Chaim, I wanted to ask you your point of view of this story, of this kid.
I won't tell you my point of view, but we have, Yemin Orde has a mechina, which is a preparatory program for mostly Ethiopian Russian kids in the Upper Galilee. So we screened the film there and we showed them. And one of the kids, the first reaction was, they deport Jews? Because he's so Jewish. There's nothing less, more Jewish than looking at the eyes of these kids, his gentleness, his refinedness. And you don't have to know Jewish history to understand, that, to ask the question, did we go around the globe for 2,000 years to become what we are?
Go to his Facebook page. I just saw that 3 days ago he put the flag of Israel there.
Well, you see, from a pedagogic point of view, and I've been there, taking kids out of prisons, escorting them till they're after university, towards their master's degree, telling them if you are expelled, your degree, your graduate degree, is your permit to Canada, to Australia, to anywhere in the world. That's what you have to do. And I must say that I'm proud of the judicial system in Israel, because at many instances, we went to court with children, with adolescents who were supposed to be deported, and the judge asked, how are they studying? And when he got the answer he wanted to hear, he says, your job is to study well. My job is to keep you in this country. And next time when you're expelled, you come to these chambers, and I give you my promise. And you stand up and you say, Hayom ani ge'eh liot ezrach Israeli. Today I'm proud to be an Israeli citizen. The silence of the child and the shouts of this politician there, they're a cancer. They're such a contradiction. And we live in a country of contradiction. But the children that you see there, they have gained so much. Because for them, and in Yemin Orde, in our village, when we are Shomer Shabbat, etc., and the Torah speaks 34 times about thou should be sensitive to your guest citizen. And the Talmud asks, why is it mentioned so many times? And the Talmud answers, Mishum shesuro ra, which basically means because you are doomed to fail in this once you get back to sovereignty. And we are failing. But the great gain is what I have seen is that when you incorporate Muslim children, refugees, survivors in an Israeli system, what these kids that you've seen there have gained is basically a gift. It is about the expansion of the boundaries of their self-perception as human beings, which nobody gains, without such an experience. They're not the regular Israeli kids anymore. He has transformed them. Yeah.
But he also was a victim of this experiment, as I see it, because putting a poor black kid in a very fortunate kids class, one lonely child, I think it's too much. It's not.
You see, from an educational point of view, you got to build up with a child like this what we call anchors in the future. He can adopt a Weltanschauung or a kind of perception of himself in the future as somebody who's still connected to this country, especially now with all the electronic devices, that there is a commitment and the school should build it up and keep it alive. And the day will come and you'll be part of us. Never give up on a child.
I know only that the last time a few times ago when I tried to speak with him, although he put the flag of Israel there, he asked me to speak English with him. So for the first time. So I comforted myself saying that this is his way to go on, and not out of anger. But who knows?
I have a picture here of a young man who was before deportation, and he said, if I have to leave, I'll leave my baby here, born here. You can't expel it. And this is him and the baby. Their connection to Israel, to define, the the people in Israel that embrace them, like this teacher, is really deserves all the respect. I mean, it's not a given. It doesn't happen everywhere.
She's, by the way, from Russia. It's something
You can tell.
I understand that the American ear or cannot catch it, right? But she came from Russia, and her boy is also a stranger in Israel. His accent is very strong, and he get a lot of hard times with it among his friends.
Shall we take some questions from the audience? We have some hands up.
Find him to go to this school.
It's a special program of municipality of Tel Aviv. Most kids in his age going to their own schools, like foreigner schools. This is a very, very good school, and they just decided that they will put in every class they will put one kid like this. Excuse me? They went to his neighborhood, picked them up in the bus, and they went there every morning. This bus is empty today. The bus is not going there anymore. Most people were deported, and the others just switched to their own school, where they felt better, probably.
Has the deportation policy changed at all over the past few years? Especially about families, keeping them intact.
There is a policy, but it's very blurred. That's why they're afraid all the time. They don't know. The mother don't know if she can go outside, if the police will take her or not. You cannot deport families, but mostly if they came from Eritrea and Sudan. Mussa could be deported because his mother is from Ethiopia, and there is no risk of going back there. But the rest are safe. I'm not sure it's because Israeli policy. It's more because there is international law. They are obliged to education, but nothing else. No health, nothing.
Did you go to Addis Ababa and film from there yourself?
Yes.
So would you say, were there things about Mussa's return there that were good for him? Because it looked like the scene where he's playing with the other boys, there was like this beautiful, I don't know, I love the livestock. A lot of us will travel internationally just to have these experiences. So here he's had both. Do you think in some ways, what would you say about his experience there? Is it better in some ways? Is it not?
I try to ask him this every time I speak with him, ask him if he wants to come back to Israel. The answer is uncertain. I don't know if I can bring him, but he doesn't know. He misses his father very much. His father is not in contact with him. We don't know the reason. Now he doesn't have visa also in Israel, so he's probably running around. But he is happy. He's studying in this public school that we can help him never mind to pay for it. Yeah. He came there. He didn't know the language. He didn't know English. He didn't know Amharic. So he just studied it on his own very fast. He's a very, very smart kid, and now he's already in his own age class. I think he's happy, but he's like his mother said. He's a boy. He needs his mother. He wants to be with his mother. We don't know how the future will be for him. Not there and not in Israel. So I don't know. For foreigner eyes, you see that there is no electricity and there is no water and there is not much future around or outside. But I don't know what kind of future he would have in Israel. So.
Anat, you said that Israel's a racist society. Chaim, I wonder if you could answer with your experience, the Ethiopian kids that have gone through Yemin Orde, and I know some of them, the Ethiopian community was protesting this summer, I guess in June or July. What do you think about the ability of the Ethiopian community to find a home as they should in Israel at this point?
The trouble is that officially Israel hasn't learned from the mistakes done in the 50s, which are still breathing fiercely on our necks. You know, if we would have done an effort to learn from the Ethiopian culture more, that the father, the patriarch, and the structure of the family are so important, we wouldn't focus on the kids right away and see elderly climbing on the walls with psychosemitic diseases, losing their authority over the kids, and then you get them in the streets. It's just one factor. Mistakes have been done. On the other hand, some things were done right. You know, I pride myself with our graduates who, since early age, have learned much about their heritage and who they are, their self-perception and sense of worthiness. People like Mehereta Baruch, the deputy mayor of Tel Aviv, and colonels and teachers and police officers, all those, and it's not a matter of racism, it's a matter of social class. You know, when a colonel with his brass on his shoulders and wings on his chest comes and wants to rent a home in the most lavish environment, there will be no problem, because it's a matter of class and not of racism.
Well, there is, you can disagree with this.
I speak from my experience.
Yeah, of course.
But,
big question.
Yeah. I speak from if things are done right, I mean, the Ethiopian story is the litmus paper of our society. If we fail in this, we are really racist. And there's still left to see if we learn from mistakes or not.
The Ethiopians are Jews, and they still are discriminated as I see it. You live in your own, you do your own, you have your own experience, which is, I think, I don't know if it's narrow, but it's your mission in life, and you do it great. But me and my friends, we don't do it. We're not there. I'm sad to say that things in Israel are very bad, and they say that it takes generations to absorb the migrants and the immigrants or migrants. I don't see it happening. I see it's just getting worse and worse. I think, I don't know, I'm telling that my country is a racist country. I'm ashamed of it. I don't think, maybe it's not appropriate to say it. But I do think we have to behave better. We all grew on the ethos of Exodus, of Jews coming to Israel and are not allowed to get in. My mother, here, she was born in Italy because they didn't let her ship into Israel. Mom, I just told them how old are you, sorry. So I think we should and we can do better.
I should say, Mom, you should be very proud of your daughter. Great film. Yeah.
We have a question over here.
Hi, Elliot Glassenberg. I'm a refugee activist in Israel and Tel Aviv, currently visiting here in New York. First of all, thank you very much for the film and for showing it here this evening. I think it's very important and very, very touching. It hits very close to home. My question is, so you've chosen a particular story that's about a very small minority within a minority group. The Eritrean, the Ethiopian refugee migrant non-Jewish community in Israel is very small as opposed to the Darfuri or Sudanese or Eritrean community. Have you done any work with that community, or is there a particular reason you chose this angle and not another one? Or are you planning on doing more with the refugee issue, or are you moving on to other political issues?
I really want to do Mussa 2. Do a much better movie. No, I just met this kid. As I said, I was aware of this problem as most Israeli were. I did nothing about it. And now my mission is still this kid because he got into my heart. I keep doing my job. I'm a journalist. I'm doing politics and other stuff. And this is the little thing I could do. In my dreams, I have 3 kids, boys. And in my dreams, I see myself take, the situation of the little kids in Israel is very bad because until age 3, when you have to give them education, they're like thrown in how do you call them? Storage places of babies, and it's with one social worker on like 50 babies. So this is my dream, to take a girl, one girl.
I have a question about the very old community of the boat people from Vietnam, who I think are like 3rd generation now in Israel, a lot of them in Tel Aviv. And I was wondering, I think there was an article that they were also having problems about a year ago. I was wondering if you can update us on that.
I don't know.
As far as we know, they're well integrated. It's an old story. They're well integrated, intermarried even. I didn't hear about it. Vietnamim של בגין.
Wow.
We haven't heard
It
about
was just one boat.
There was some issue like 6 years ago about families of other nations kids, not only Vietnamese. They wanted to throw them all, and then there was a lot of demonstration in Israel, and out of I think 1,200 families, 700 families with kids already got their status. So, and the rest is being taken care of.
Folks, we're going to take one last question here.
Thank you for a beautiful film. And some indirect question. In the credits, I noticed that the film was conceived by Daniela Rahminov-Sidi. Could you tell us what role she played? I happen to know her parents very well, and to also notice that the film was dedicated to her father's memory.
Daniela is this mother I was talked about, and her daughter studied with Mussa, and she's the one who thought that this story should be told. So,
what is something that people can do? Often we bring these films here that raise a lot of issues, and then we try to have a call to action. And one of it is our partners, of course. But is there anything specific that the folks here can be doing?
We raised a lot of money, relatively. We raised like $10,000 already, which is pretty much money there in Ethiopia. So the studying, we are over it. He's going to study, he's going to go to university. But we still need some money for them to buy their own apartment. Now Mussa lives with his mother in one bed actually. He's 14. So that's my next mission. And the thing that I think is very important for these kids is helping them afternoon when they're alone. The parents are working. There are hours on hours. They're alone in the house. They cannot go outside because this neighborhood they live in is very miserable, drug addicts and prostitutes. And Mussa stayed in his own room for hours and waited for his parents to come. So my dream was to somehow make them have activities on the afternoons and on summer vacations, because summer vacations were horrible for him. I tried to help, Anat tried to help, but even the parents, by the way, I remember that I mailed his classmates' parents and asked them to take Mussa afternoons with them or during the day with his friends. And only one mother came back to me and she said, well, I agree, but only if you'll take him, because I'm not going with my car to this neighborhood. So I think maybe. And to say happy birthday to him. Really, do that. DonateMussa.com.
Folks, thank you so much. I want to thank our panel here, and of course, thank our moderator, Tsafi, and Anat, and Chaim for being here. Our next film is starting at 8:30, The Voice of Peace. Definitely one of the more fascinating films of the festival, and in a very different tone of this one. So please join us for that. Join us, of course, here till Thursday night for many more fantastic films. And for those of you who are not joining us and are desperate for a drink, the Amsterdam Ale House in the back room will have a conversation. We'll have open, informal conversations till 11 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you.